Hello everyone, how are we doing today? I've got a YouTube exclusive cast for you all because this is another match from the King of Battles. I know I'm being very slow getting through all of these, but we've just got so many awesome games on the stream. I'm not getting a chance to do many YouTube exclusives, but obviously still want to get through these. So today we've got Cure, our red Terran player in the top left-hand side. He is taking on the blue Zerg in the bottom right. Give it up if you're cheering on Reynor. So this is from the King of Battles $30,000 event. This is a best of 3. It is the starting match of Group D from the tournament. And excited to see a little bit of Reynor Cure ZvT. I know Cure was on fire in TVZ for a while. Obviously, Reynor has been looking fantastic in this matchup pretty much consistently. So just excited to see what comes out of these two when they match up against each other. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Again, YouTube exclusive. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to the video today. Thanks so much for watching, and if you do really enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget you can subscribe. We are so close to 31,000 followers. In fact, we might be on 31,000 right now, but the road to 35k continues. Thank you so much, everybody, and appreciate you all being here to watch some games with me as we go into this. Reynor scouts around the right-hand side with this drone. So looking to pick up a little bit of information early. Really trying to check if there's a proxy racks or anything. Now, of course, I think everybody always wants to know about ping and servers when, you know, players like these play, when we've got Korea versus Europe. This was, I don't know which server each game is on, but it's basically a rotation of NA servers. So they play on North America, which means the ping is more or less even. One game, Reynor will probably have 30 to 40 better ping. The other game, Cure will have 30 or 40 better ping, and then it's a flip of the coin who gets that advantage twice if it goes to all 3 games. But it's not unmanageable ping. You know, we're talking about 140 to 170, 150 to 180. I think the American server's even been a bit better than Koreans again lately. So it's very playable, is what I'm trying to say for these guys. You know, yes, it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it's not like 200 plus, and that's where things really do usually get crazy. I mean, need I remind you that Q actually went on a tear and went to 5 games against Serral back in January this year. I know that was a while ago, but 5 games against Serral on the European server with 300 plus ping. Now that's crazy as this Reaper link action starts. Let me just very quickly turn the health bars on. Apologies. And then we can see exactly how close all of these units are getting to dying. As the first drone very nearly went down there, but doesn't quite. And a few Lings are going to turn around now to chase that Reaper away. So a bit of back and forth as a few Lings continuing down. Lings and the Queen setting out the front then, as we do have our Ling speed setting up from Reynor in the main base. So Ling speed on the way up. Getting that ready to go as a couple command centers continuing to build. His factory moves out down to the reactor, and yeah, 3 CC from QS, so just very simple. 3 command centers. Nothing really out of the ordinary here, if we're going to be completely honest just yet. As we'll see a starport dropping down as well in this main base, so getting that ready to go. And just going to be seeing the Ling speed continuing from Reynor in the main base. Reaper continues to move around, picking up information. Really nothing too crazy then, right? Just standard Reaper harassment. 3 CC means we're going to have a pretty passive game from the Terran player unless he tries to run Hellions into a mineral line. Doesn't really look as though much will be going on here early. That is a second factory though, so you know what? I'll take it back. Second factory starts up, and we're going to have something a little bit funky here out of Cure. He's also got this starport, so you'll get the Viking, which can hopefully deny the scout. And by denying the scout, obviously, then you make it very difficult to recognize as Reynor what the heck is going on here. He is completely blind to this. These Marines will not let the Overlord in initially. The Viking will make sure it doesn't get in after. Okay, Reynor's going to play it safe and put a Baneling Nest down early. I mean, that's essential. You need something here against what's probably going to be Blue Flame Hellions. Is a Baneling Nest enough? Typically, I would say the ideal scenario is a Roach Drone. I mean, at least you will have a Baneling Nest. Of course, this doesn't hit super quick. We've still got to wait for Blue Flame to kick in until we'll see truly an attack happening. It definitely feels like he was trying to hide something, right? Because Reynor's like, well, you know, Viking coming out. Of course, this is all behind a 3 CC, so you've got good economy here as well. And we'll see how well the Blue Flame Hellions will end up doing. There's another couple of Zerglings that will be, well, not denied here. Oh, they will. I thought if maybe they'd both run up together, but managed to split away from the splash damage, they probably would have gotten to see it, but Still no. Still in the dark here. Reynor doesn't see anything from this main base as he drops down the lair. So this is a very popular build, you know, this kind of Baneling Nest then into the lair. We obviously saw like fast Mutalisks be a thing for a long time. This is like the safer version where you actually get the Baneling Nest, then the lair, and it's still fast mutas, but you slow it down because of the Baneling Nest for safety. Because a lot of Terran players started to do builds that really punished you for going straight to Mutalisk. So the Baneling Nest helps you survive that. As you see now, these Hellions going to get a lot of the Lings, and that's huge because now they're just going to drive into the natural. No Zerglings ready, and this is before Blue Flame's even done. The more damage you take right now as Reynor, the worse this is going to be going on from here. 12 workers killed, still just 12 workers killed, but how many Lings will go down as well? Okay, I mean, now Blue Flame is going to kick in. So it's funny because it's like, well, now you don't have any Hellions for Blue Flame, apart from obviously the ones that will drop. But but you did so well anyway, so you actually, it's almost like you didn't even need Blue Flame. Reynor in a bit of trouble. Now he won't build anything off the ledge just yet because he's got to wait a little while as he starts roach roaring, so maybe realizing something isn't quite right and that he needs to be a little bit more careful now. I really think he was heading for that Spire, but he's picked up on the fact that this isn't normal. Things are a bit weird, and here we go. Blue Flame into the main base, and they are going to shred Lings, shred drones. As the Queens do pretty good at slowing this down at least, so that's some good news at the very minimum. At the same time, we've got more Hellions poised to come in from the right-hand side, as this is just a drone barbecue if we've ever seen one. Obviously, the Banes here even trying to get a couple connections, but this is why you need Roaches, because Banes just don't really stop Hellions. You know, they can do very well against Hellbats because the Hellbats can't move away from the Banes, but the Hellions can kite Banes, and you're just not likely to get them amazing shots you're looking for. This is another 20 dead drones, and Cure has just roasted his way to a victory in this game one. I say a victory. Maybe I'm ahead of myself a little bit. I don't think I'm ahead of myself in the overall call, but I think this overall is going to be a victory. It's just maybe Reynor will try and stay in it. He is redroning. Stim's about to be done. There's no 1-1 on the way. Engineering Bay is only just starting, so at least upgrades are even. Trying to find some positives here from Reynor. I mean, the positives are that he's at least got some drones. It's really not pretty. It's really not pretty. Now he will move Hellbats into the main, and well, now there's not a single Baneling on the map to help defend this. So all of a sudden you're back in this position where you're under pressure, drones have to pull away, more lost mining time, and now in the follow-up we've seen another Hellion drop. And you know what's behind this? Widow Mine drops. Drilling Claws is already well on the way. The power of having 2 factories early, you can get that Drilling Claws early and reactor out a whole bunch of Widow Mines. Oh, no, 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 the drones! That one Hellion went for a few extra at the end. These Hellions drop off, but there's no drones over here. You could deny some lava, but I mean, at this stage, it's... the damage is already done. I mean, at this point, it's just getting an army that will end the game, and that army is just going to typically be a Bioforce with probably 1-1, so in about a minute and a half, minute or so, we'll start to see some movement. Obviously, it's been very factory production focused, so these barracks are only just coming online, but this Bio army is going to become very big very quickly because of the fact that he's just so far ahead on workers and economy in these early stages of the game. Queens come through, and the Hellbats get pushed away, and now Widow Mine's unloading. Reynor responds to this at least and gets a pull away. Doesn't lose anything to this Widow Mine drop initially. Hellbats are back in the natural. Widow Mine's in the main. I mean, there's just action in every mineral line. Something's bound to go wrong, such as that. 13 drones dead in the main base. Oh, it's a drone massacre. It truly is. 52 workers at 8.5 minutes. Oh no, don't tell me there's more. Don't tell me there's more. Okay, it wasn't that bad. Only a couple more compared to all the damage we've seen so far. That did get a little bit scary. I did think we were about to see even further damage being done. Queen picks up the kill on that Widow Mine. We're going to be seeing Marine Widow Mine in the middle of the map. I mean, here's that push I'm talking about. 1-1's about to kick in. What does Reynor have on the map? 7 Mutalisks, 19 Lings. Yes. Yeah, if you win this as Reynor, honestly, I know people like to be like, Zerg's so broken, Zerg's so... This is genuinely the position where if Zerg won, I'd be absolutely gobsmacked. I would switch race to Zerg immediately and never look back. It's not gonna happen, guys. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this game one is pretty much, you know, already icing on the cake. First cut has been made and Kira's about to eat the first slice. You know, it's done. So... we're just waiting for Kira to actually commit to a fight that will end it as, I mean, what way do you get back into this Reynor? You would have to blow up 2 bases of mineral lines at the very least, and probably 1 base and 2 mineral lines. and get a bailing connection into the center of all the Marines to stop the aggression. Because you're down in army supply, you would need to take over an economy. You're asking the unaskable when someone is as good as Kua. That's kind of the problem is... I mean, Creep Gym is being taken down. Kua's playing it very safe. Now going to start splitting this army up. It's going to be a challenge for Reynor because, well, he just doesn't have enough to send in 2 different places at the same time. Of course, if Kua feels the need, he can bring this army from the center to the right side to help out as well. Let's continue to push forward, and these Widow Mines continue to set up. Bane's going to be rolling through. A couple more Widow Mines going off here, and clearing up quite a lot, if I'm going to be honest. More Marines into the center. Queen's going down. Bane's is still rolling through this, and yeah, we're going to be seeing this Bioforce able to come straight through the center and take down the Queens. The split back from the Banelings was good. I mean, it was always going to be... they're really... I'm running out of things to say, everybody. I'm sorry. But this one is... okay. A GG. Any moment now. I'm convinced. If not for that fight, then for this one, right? You're losing in every single position. Well, I mean, is this really a win over here? You could argue Reynor is winning this fight, but is he really? Like, you know, Widow Mines are still here. Reinforcements are going to be there. You obviously got nothing in position on this base, so... All right. GG's. I mean, Kua gets very far ahead very early on. He's able to run that advantage into the... into Reynor again and again and basically run away with the game. Let's see if Reynor can turn it around, though, going into map number 2. Game number 2. As in the bottom left-hand side, taking the 1-0 lead is our red Terran player. It's Kua. We go into Pillars of Gold for this, as we have in the top right-hand side, the blue Zerg. Give it up if you're cheering on Reynor. Well, you know, I feel like there's only so much of that game you can really read into. Because there is a point at which you've just got to say, right, he killed so many drones and there's no recovery from that point on. So we definitely kind of got to that sort of a stage. All right. Yeah, second map. I just... it's a bit of everything, right? I guess I'm trying to explain the situation, how you look at it from Reynor's point of view, but basically, it really is a bit of everything. First of all, your initial setup, your initial build is lacking because you build a Baneling nest, but that's, you know, you're being safe, but then that's not even actually really that safe against Blue Flame Hellions. Then he kind of feels like he doesn't need it, so he doesn't build Banelings. But it's even before that, right? Because the first Hellions just got in and got so much damage done, and it really is just that snowballing, avalanching effect. After that, you just become SQ. You get so much momentum, and you saw it at one point, he was in 3 different mineral lines, and that leads to 13 more drones to go down. You know, you can defend multiple points of harassment perfectly, but if you can't put the attention in to defend the other one, that's going to be where the big damage is. And that's what it gets to, because you just can't let the Terran get to a point where he's got 3 different sets of units dropping in all your bases at the same time, with you not having units up, right? Like, it's very different if you've got units up and running and working, but he's working on so little because of the earlier damage. And maybe I'm sticking on it too much. It really is a fairly simple affair of Hellions should not have been allowed to kill those early drones. But even if the Hellions didn't get in there for the early drones as well, I think the Blue Flame attack is still looking hopeful, because Reynor was still in the dark. And right here, this is a really fun opening from Kua. This is a no Reaper opening, so he's actually going to get the first Overlord without any scouting information from Reynor. That's a great early kill, and that's one of the big reasons you would open no Reaper. You lose scouting information, you don't get across the map, but you can get Marines out early, and they can make an Overlord pick. So, once again, Reynor is going to be completely blind here. You know, next Overlord on this side of the map, I mean, if I'm Reynor, I might even consider building Overlord speed, because Overlord speed at this point, at least, I really mean at least, would give you some information. There's Overlord speed. Was he planning this anyway? It's before Ling speed, so he could have just decided to go for it, and I think he probably does, losing that Overlord. You need to know what's going on. You can't let Kua get away with aggression again. The thing is, it was 3cc aggression, though, and it's 3cc again right now, so this Overlord speed isn't super important for this right now, in the moment right now scenario. It is more important for the, what comes after this 3cc. Is there a second factory game? Well, this time it's a second barracks. We've been seeing a lot of this. The 2-on-1 or the 2 racks plays. that aren't actually the straight up regular 2-on-1. This is not Rax Factory, this is Rax Factory second Rax, and it gives you a very fast stim while also giving you a lot of Marines. This time it's behind a 3cc, so if you want to do something here, you can absolutely hit like a 6-minute, I believe a Hellbat Marine time with stim around 6 minutes. You'll have stim well before then, but the whole point is that to get the starport up and a couple medevacs out, that's and an armory down, that's when this would generally hit, because it's behind a 3rd CC, right? So let's see, second reactor comes down, so this barracks will take a reactor here. There's the starport. And right now we're on 3 Hellions, so you can actually, when this reactor is done, build more reacted Hellions, and then you can actually just build medevacs off 1 starport, and then you've actually got the gas to also afford the armory, which will allow you to create this very powerful timing of like Hellbat Marine. And you need to make sure you've got the right amount of units then as Reynor, otherwise you fall into a lot of trouble very quickly. So something to look at there is, we'll see these few Hellions continuing up through to the top side of the map. A couple of Queens setting up, some creep tumors going down. Evolution Chamber will build from Reynor on the front of the natural, and these Hellions are going to dive by, and they are going to be able to get 2 drones, 4 drones, and that's going to be it for the moment. So 4 drones going down as our 3rd CC moves out the front. There's the armory. Like I say, this has been a really popular build lately. You don't put the starport on the medevac. It's really hard to figure out what kind of stuff's going on in this, but Reynor gets a great scout. This tells him there's more Hellions on the way. And to me, that should already tell him, hey, if there's more Hellions on the way, there's probably going to be Hellbats. This is really focused around dealing damage initially, so make sure not to cut any corners. Make sure not to be caught over droning. Well, he builds more drones right now. He was initially supply blocked. I'm a little bit worried. I feel like he's got the info, but then he doesn't quite have all of it. He's only going to have Lings and Queens to defend this. The micro is going to have to be on point, because Ling Queen only against this is... well, to me, it feels very scary. To me, I feel like this shouldn't really be a thing. But let's see as these Queens come forward. It's not a huge amount of Marines, and he loses a Hellion already. Yeah, the Marine count isn't, like, ridiculous, and he could have had a Queen there already, but he backed away for a moment. Now the rest of this Marine Hellion force coming forward. A couple of Hellbats morphing in, and Zergling's looking for a wraparound. You can see how well these Hellbats do in this scenario. As the Queens collect together, another low HP Queen that gets transfused last second. Now the medevacs are gone. How many of these Queens can you get? Because that's really going to be the success story here. You're not going to get into a drone line. Okay, we're down to 3 Queens. He's killed 4. The resources lost is definitely favorable for Cure. So I think Cure overall here looks good. I think he's fine. I don't think there's anything to be too concerned about. Let's say a couple of Hellbats lead the charge again. Marines coming forward. A few more Zerglings being picked away at. And more of these Lings continuing to go down as our Queens continue to get over here. Medevac will be shot down as well. And a couple more Hellbats still morphing in. The lair is on the way up on the 3rd base. Marines and Hellbats have to fall back yet again. And still just seeing the melee upgrades coming through on those Evolution Chambers as Q are now back to the center. Gonna stem forward, gonna get an Overlord. And continuing through for a couple of creep tumors. So creep tumors going down. I mean, the fact that this pressure's still on the map is great, but he has a counterattack from Reynor, and this could be where he finds some hope as he forces the SCVs away from the 3rd. And honestly, not enough Marines here to justify turning around. Absolutely worth the trade. Look at that. 8, 9, 10 workers killed. Wow, that's actually huge because Reynor was behind on workers without this. So this brings Reynor back into having a bit of a chance again, although he's still not cleaned this up. Efficiency is still just within 800. It's just crazy how much he's gotten out of this. This medevac should lift up and get out of there, though, because it's obviously these Marines are not going to survive that much longer. 1-1 upgrades on the engineering base now. So on the way toward that, as we do also see the +2 carapace upgrade starting on the Evolution Chamber in the natural expansion. And we will be having the +2 melee to follow. So that's a huge advantage from Reynor. He's got an upgrade lead that is ginormous. Q delaying the upgrades to put so much pressure on early. So I would say the economy is actually great for Q. You're on 3 CC and only 2 or 3 SCVs behind at any point in time. If you look at the income in general, it's been very favorable for Q overall in the game. So I actually think Q is in a fine spot. Yes, the upgrades will help Reynor stay in it as well, and that's why he's okay. Because he can afford to be on less units, on less drones, hence less units, because his upgrades will allow these units to trade better than they usually would, especially in some of these smaller numbers. The 1-1 versus 0-0 trade for Zerglings is absolutely monstrous. As Hellions get surrounded, they will go down. That's a good catch as well, removing one of the threats on the map. Now, the other threat on the map is this double drop into the main base. So here comes Cure to go into that main and just start to apply some pressure. The Bane's just got their Bane speed. That will help a lot in defending, but oh, Cure not paying attention, doesn't lift up. At the same time, the Ling Run by came in. He had to pull away over here, and so he loses everything in those medevacs. He could have still had 2 full medevacs, and that would have given him so much more continued pressure. But Reynor gets a good cleanup and a good hold just when he needed it most. Ooh, okay. Meanwhile, the Hydralisk Den has gone down in the main base. So again, the Hydra Den down. The rest of these Zerglings continuing out down the bottom left. Marines will force a turnaround on the rest of these Zerglings here, moving to the left-hand side as well. Reynor trying to get back in on top of these Marines. More Lings being picked away at here. Hydralisk Den is about to finish up in an infestation pit. I mean, we know where this is headed. We know that Reynor wants to try and get to Lurkers. That's Reynor's, primary play style. That's how Reynor loves to play. That's why he is so good. We know that he can play this Lurker style better than most other Zergs. I mean, a lot of Zergs have caught on to it now. A lot of Zergs have started to do, versus... a lot of Zergs have started to play versus... play this Lurker style. Sorry, I'm losing my words. A lot of Zergs have started to play this Lurker style, and hence we have seen more of it, but I still think Reynor does it the best, and Reynor really has paved the way of this style, being usable, popular. Widowmine drops here doing pretty darn well. I love this. Retargets onto the best set of Lings he can. Is this another Widowmine drop? Yes, it is, into the top side of the map. So Widowmine drops just going around everywhere here. This time, Reynor, no response. 6 drones dead. Clean up over on this right-hand side. Didn't quite get to see that. I think it was just another Widowmine. Wow, and we're just going to keep on going. Widowmine drop after Widowmine drop non-stop at the moment. Obviously, 3 Widowmines at a time, and there's hives on the way. Of course, all of this is basically built around the idea of being able to slow the Zerg down as much as possible. The more you can slow the Zerg down, the better a chance you're going to have, as we do have Cure keeping the Zerg away from fighting, so Reynor cannot take advantage of the 2-2. This Widowmine got a couple more kills, and we come back over here where the entire mineral line's being blown up. 10 workers killed there, and there's going to be a Queen that takes a shot. Will not go down. Actually able to save 2 Widowmines and even low HP medevac. It doesn't take much to drop those 2 mines to get a burrow, even if you use it as a distraction while this other Widowmine drop comes in. Now, Reynor, he's losing a lot of workers, but this game he's losing them at a later stage of the game, and he's got the money and he's got the economy to rebuild, and so he's kept that worker count high. 97 at the moment. Might even be slightly overkill. Obviously, all of this happened while he's stacking up to those Lurkers. As I apologize, this Widowmine drop did get in for 3 drones on the top right. I was intent on pulling this one. I thought it would strike next, but I was mistaken. So yes, the hive about to be done, so we're on the way toward better Lurkers. Those Lurkers get their Lurker upgrades when they hit that hive tech. So you can start up Seismic Spines now and then eventually Adaptive Talons. Another Widowmine drop. The problem is there's just no respect for these Widowmine drops, right? There's a Queen here. There's no Spore Crawlers. They might think, well, what's a Spore Crawler going to do? But if you can put like a couple Queens in a Spore, you can actually stop these medevacs before they get in a lot of the time, or before they unload all the Widowmines. On top of that, then you can, maybe just more awareness is necessary to really realize what's going on. A drop on this right side now as Cure moves out with Bio for the first time in a while. It's been a little while coming as the Queen goes down. So many high energy Queens nearby as well, so that's a shame. As the Lurkers burrow up, of course, not quick burrows just yet. Now we've got a push from Cure going over to the left-hand side. So that push sets up. We have the Queens here continuing to play. Marine, Marauder, Medevac trading out at the moment. Bio coming up to the top side. A few of these creep teamers continuing to go down. Widowmine behind that mineral line on the top. There's a couple of extra Vipers coming in here. More Banelings in production. 3 upgrades on the engineering base. As you do see our extra few Lurkers morphing in. Another Widowmine shot going off. Or a few extra drones. A couple of Banes will connect in to pick off that Widowmine. Now we're going to push in and kill off on the top left-hand side. Oh, and it's Q just everywhere. Look at the group spread. It's really non-existent. It's been cleaned up the last couple of moments, and now there's barely any of it. Gets a cancel. Top left-hand side. Top right-hand side. Only 2 Lurkers in position. Reynor's just not in position for anything. I mean, this split push is just going to be great. Of course, the Lurkers can't relocate as easily right now until Adaptive Talents is done as well. I'm not sure that really changes what's happening at the moment, though. I don't think that would have protected these bases. He finally gets in position over here, and it's still been a messy trade to get this far in. 4,000 resources worse off in terms of what's been lost. This should be a better fight for Reynor. The Lurk is in position right from the start. The Banes are going to get through, and these Marines will continue kiting. Don't tell me some Marines survived this. Wow, the Banes just never found the center of the Marines. And so a few Marines even surviving over there. To me, that's surprising. I really thought they were done for. I mean, I guess this medevac is just not going to drop. I mean, it's definitely not been the cleanest game from Kira either. He's definitely forgotten about medevacs and units at points and let them kind of fly around a bit silly or walk around in places they shouldn't be or not pick them up. So that's a little bit of a shame as 8 drones go down. This bio army getting in over here, and we have the rest of this setting up. Big Woodermine shot there actually connects on a whole bunch of Lings. And this army actually does get this hatchery kill. Now this hatchery is going to be out of position. That's too far to the left, so Reynor might have to replace that. With the Lings killed over here, you get easier access on top of these Lurkers, and he will get here to make a push through, and Cure continuing to keep up this pressure. I gotta say, I like it. Even though that Reynor survived to Lurkers, did he really survive to the stage of Lurkers he wanted to be at? Usually you get to Lurkers, and then the Lurkers help you get to that kind of big army, everything you want it to be. This right now is basically pure Lurkers. 8 Lurkers, 2 Vipers, 5 Hydras, and 11 Lings. Like, that is not an army. That's Lurkers with an entourage, right? Like, that's just not really anything that's enough to fight with. I feel like that's the issue. There's 100 army supply in the game. I'm sure some of it was maybe caught up in production, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely not enough to deal with dual pushes. And now we're gonna have a push up here, tanks in tow, and I don't think there's a way for these Lurkers to get back into this fight. So this right side's gonna be forfeit. And if you lose this base, you might lose this base. At the same time, a drop kills the top left, so you're maybe talking about a 3-base Reynor here very soon. However, the Lurkers will just commit to this counterattack, so they show up. They're going to deny a base of Q at least. But yeah, you lose the right side base. This base is going to go down, absolutely. A few Lurkers on the way back, but with the tanks here, I don't believe that's being stopped. Of course, you only deny this base. You don't actually get the kill on it because, well, it just lifts up. Blinding Clouds come down as this fight happens. Hitting a lot of the tanks with those Blinding Clouds, definitely helping these Lurkers out a lot. Viper's being targeted down by Marines, though. A final Blinding Cloud will buy a bit more time. A Parasitic Bomb on the Medevacs doesn't quite get the kill. Are you kidding me? Oh, the Hydra should be able to clean up a bunch of these as everything's going down, but 35 drones are lost. There's drop on the top left, added a few more to that tally. And Reynor survives on 4 bases, only just. But it's Cure who's also on 4 bases anyway. And about to be 5 bases because he'll land this back down, and he's still on 71 workers. There were not really any SUVs killed here in this last fight. They're just not enough. And we're talking about 105 drones dead in this game. Honestly, the workers killed has just been phenomenal again and again and again. It's been non-stop. Harassment from Cure, keeping this game active, keeping this game busy. And right now, Reynor will struggle to rebuild. Down 0-1 in this game. Of course, this is the first match of this group, so it isn't an elimination match or anything, but it means you won't get to advance out of this group in first place, and that can mean a lot when it comes to playoff seeding and so on. As these Lurkers do walk up here, I mean, that's a pretty powerful little move. But now you've got units from the other side, and of course, the surround is a Lurker's worst enemy. Because as you come in from 2 different sides, the Lurker splash damage is really minimized. They shoot different directions. They're not all focused on one position. These Lurkers kind of get caught on the way across, but they get burrowed up in time to say nuh-uh to Reynor. Sorry, to Cure. Trying to get down this ramp. I like that there's Liberators on the way too. Just an even better way to deal with these Lurkers. Especially right now, what are you going to do if, say you get to like 6 Liberators as Cure? What the heck does Reynor do about that? You'll have a couple of Abducts, a couple like, there's just not enough. 2 Liberators, yes, you can just abduct away, but you get to like 6, 8. I feel like that right now is uncounterable for what Reynor's working with. Obviously, given time, Reynor will maybe get something more to deal with it, but it's another issue. And if those Vipers now abducting Liberators, I'm really struggling with my unit names today, then what's going to Blinding Cloud the siege tanks, right? Nothing. You know, it's not like Reynor's got a whole ton of Vipers. He's got 2 of them. The stim in here from Cure just going to trade out, and this is expensive as well. I like this because what this does is it forces you to rebuild more Lurkers, and by doing that, you take away the potential of Hydras. It takes away the potential of more Vipers. It just is an expensive trade out, and a 58 drone Reynor should not be able to stand up to the 81 SCV Cure at the moment. Tank's going to start sieging an abduct straight in, and this tank will go down. A couple of Lings being bombarded by tank shots. Another tank or 2 going to get brought into this, and the Lurkers will get a bit of a cleanup. nicely. Liberator siege up. The Lurkers get pushed back yet again. I mean, even 2 Liberators are proven to be a huge issue right now. Right, for 2 Vipers, I mean, here we go. You're going to abduct them. But you know what? What even happens if you abduct them? You literally just pull them out of position. There's not even the Hydra count to really kill them off. So the Liberator gets abducted and sits there for so long. If Q was paying any amount of attention, he would have been able to save that. Meanwhile, he's back up on the top side. Why is the Hive here? I mean, great question, honestly. I never really paid attention to that one, but I mean, there's arguments to be made that the Hive has more HP, so if you put it on the 3rd base, it makes the 3rd base tankier. And if you're comfortable, you're going to, you know, save your 3rd base throughout the game, then it's fine. Obviously, in this game, it doesn't maybe look like the smartest decision, but hey, it is still alive, so that's something. He didn't kill the Hive previously, right? Oh, I don't think he killed the main base at any point either, because there was a lot of tech around here. I don't think I was that bad observing I missed something. I think this was genuinely just Flare on the 3rd, Hive on the 3rd. A few Lings going to run by over here. I mean, there's a bit of bio left behind, so Kyo can afford to do that. That's the only base that isn't a planetary, right? So a few bio units just to protect it from smaller run-bys. And what else can Reynor do? It's not like you can afford a larger run-by. If he goes down there with the entire army, well, goodbye again to the 2 bases you kind of need to get up and running if you're going to have any chance at all of fighting against this. Run straight in. These Lurkers do pretty well, not going to lie. It's actually a really good fight when you consider it's not really enough units out of Hewitt to win this. These Lurkers are going to win that out, so that is a win for Reynor at least, and that's kind of what he's got to rely on. Very inefficient trades of Hewitt, making some jumps and dives on armies that he can't actually kill. That's how Reynor wins this game, down 35 workers. Is it possible at all? Well, I'm not really sure, as a tank gets abducted in, and there's another one as well, so there's your 2 abducts. Not a lot of bio really left here, but then there's only 2 Lurkers left as well. As soon as these Lurkers are gone, Hydras do not really fight for themselves. They do good damage, they just die so quickly, so yeah, they don't really want to stick around. We're now talking about almost 100 supply difference, so yeah, it's been a good series from Kira. I mean, obviously showed up with some aggression, showed up with some good multitasking, and that has paid dividends for him. This worked really, really well. It's done a lot. So yeah, good job there, as we'll have a Lings around the side. We do have Vipers still trying to get that energy back up. I mean, we're really waiting. At this point, Q is still splitting up the army, and I do wonder if he could have just put everything together and just gone for it. I still don't even hate it, though, because I actually don't know what the answer is to this split push either. But, like, maybe if you could dive with everything on this, and then you get back in time to deal with this, but Q's timing this time is pretty good, and there's only Lings here. There's no Lurkers defensively, a couple of them on the way. Well, meanwhile, if you get a scan over here, there's a lot of dead Lurkers, and that's what's going to do it. GG, and Kyo will take the 2-0 here over Reynor. Really came out swinging and really had some good punches to give, and yeah, he looked good in this. Honestly, just looked like a really, I mean, we know this, right? We know Kyo has been playing great lately. Not really surprised about that per se. Just always nice to see it, right? Always nice to see that. All right, GG's. Kyo takes this one 2-0. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. A YouTube exclusive for you all. I appreciate you watching and enjoying the content. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.